I'm just going to ask a question. Flaws and all, right? We can let's try not to assume. Well, actually, I take that back. Let's assume he gets better, right? Flaws and all, let's assume he gets a little bit better. Is JJ McCarthy, as of now, based on what we know now, the best returning starting quarterback in the Big Ten? I say yes. Now I know some people are throwing out Aller, the young quarterback for Penn State. He doesn't really have. We don't have much of a sample size on him yet for me to say that. I need to see a little bit more before I can put him in that category. Um, I believe I'm not sure if someone can double check for me. Has Peyton Thorne entered the transfer portal for MSU, or is he? Uh, he's a very polarizing guy for MSU fans. Um, from what I've heard, some of them love him, some of them don't like him. Um, but as of now, I don't think he ever got benched. Even as their season kind of went off the rails. So I mean, Peyton Thorne is, I guess, in that conversation. I think the obvious one that it's probably okay to put him a little bit above JJ is probably Tagovailoa. Um, he's small, susceptible to injury, but he's very, very dynamic, and he's fearless. Uh, so I think maybe it's okay to put him there. Maybe number one. If you want to go 1A, 1B with him and JJ based on stylistically who you prefer. Um, Ohio State is a question mark. Now look, the lineage, points that whoever starts for Ohio State is probably not going to be bad. They'll probably be good and productive, but there's still a question mark. So how we can't put that above JJ, right? We know what JJ is. Everybody else is really a question mark. Who is Wisconsin's starting quarterback going to be? Graham Mertz, even though he struggled, I mean that's a new quarterback. That's a question mark. Who is um why am I drawing a blank on his name? Luke Fickle. Who is he going to have as the starting guy? Right? Those are things that have to play itself out. But as of now, and thank you. How can I forget about good old Cade McNamara? Thank you, Go Blue 81. For reminding me of Kate. Kate's definitely in that conversation. Um, man, I mean, honestly, maybe you could say Kate's number two or number three. Maybe not two, but definitely in the top three or top four. Think about it. I mean, how many other quarterbacks in the Big Ten have the experience that he has, right? I know that some Michigan fans don't love Cade, but I think all Michigan fans at least respect him, right? And I think based on what we know about him, and you look around the rest of the conference as of now, yeah, he's probably in that top three, top four range. Now, I think the problem for him is not his ability, but the play calling for Iowa. Are they going to allow him to be his best version of himself? I guess we'll see. Yeah, but I do agree with you, Go Blue 81. With Iowa, he could be good. He can be. He can be. I mean, Eric All has joined him there. Um, so that he has chemistry with him. Obviously, they played well here together. Um, but I think the biggest thing with them is going to be play calling, right? Um, but I would anticipate that Iowa's going to be pretty good. We know they do a solid job on defense. Cade takes care of the football for the most part. They should. I mean, I would pick them as the favorite in the Big Ten West for sure. Um, he's definitely the best quarterback in the Big Ten West as of now, based on what we know. So, but no, it's worth noting. JJ probably is the best quarterback in the Big Ten, but he has to get better at some things. For this program to get better to go further, right? Um, I, one of the biggest things I would like to see. There's two things, and I'll talk about this next week. What are the five things? I'll give you five things next week that I want JJ to get better on. But I'll give you two things now um, that I want to see a drastic change with him. One, decision making. Decision making. Knowing when to throw the ball away and let the play another down. Knowing when to check the ball down when a play down the field isn't there. Knowing when, okay, my progression there is not there, my progression there isn't there. Let me take off, get a couple yards, and slide to protect myself. Number two also deals with running the football. Please, please learn how to do a read option. Learn to keep the football. No one's asking for you to put yourselves in harm's way a ton of times. I'm not insinuating that he's scared of contact. I think that kid's a fierce competitor. I love him. I really do. I love his competitive spirit. But this whole thing where he's not even pulling the ball and you're seeing the edge crash down hard, and where it's obvious that they're not even worried about him pulling the ball, that's a problem. And essentially you're wasting your time even doing the read option, even calling it. You're not even reading, you know. If he wants, and look, you saw the effect it had in the playoff game. If he wants to really to utilize his strength to take this offense to the next level, he has to do that. I mean, look at a guy who I think, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I don't think Max Duggan is supremely more talented than JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy probably is more talented than him. Look what Max Duggan does, right? He could have, if he wants to look at how he should go about utilizing the read option. Look at the film of the guy you just played across from you in the playoff game. You got to do it. Utilize your legs. Make the defense fear and respect that, because it's going to make everybody else better. Everybody else better. So those are two things. Two things. Like, I'm begging this coaching staff to get into this kid's head and to get him. Hopefully with more repetitions. I know, and some of you guys have talked about this with JJ lately, especially when we criticize him, is that, well, he got hurt last off season and he got shut down, and he really didn't get the repetitions. And I think there's some uh I think there's something to that. However, he did go through an entire season being a starting quarterback, and he never seemed to quite to figure it out regardless. So I need this off season for him to really get into that and figure it out. And to do it quickly, because it's a shame, when you have his athletic ability and he's not utilized it to his full potential. So um and if he does that, if he does that, the rest of the Big Ten and the country needs to watch out, because you have a quarterback that has that dynamic to him, that has this type of offensive line, this running game. He has ability to throw the football with pretty good velocity, can run the football very well, and he gets good with his decision making. Now you're talking about a special situation. Two caliber, two NFL caliber running backs. Oh yeah, oh yeah, NFL caliber tight end. Yeah, and a defense that is returning a pretty good amount of their starters. Michigan sitting pretty well for this upcoming fall. They really are. And we'll see how the rest of the off season continues to play out. I really hope this Harbaugh fiasco is behind us in terms of contract and all this stuff is draining. And I just hope when these kids, you know, take some time off, go home at some point during the summer before they start fall camp, that everyone's feeling pretty good about themselves. Everybody has the same goals in mind, and things are clear.